A big good day and welcome to another edition of the MCDFNL Footy Show, previewing the upcoming round of footy action. My name's Andy and I'm here with Shane Anwell, the MCDFNL Operations Manager. Back for more punishment, mate.
Yes, here we go, another round. What are we, round 6 into the season, so it's going well.
It's going flying, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Certainly exciting stuff. We'll talk up the first big game of the weekend. There's two of them we'll be highlighting, as well as all of them. We won't forget that. But it's the battle of second versus fourth. There's only been one loss between these two sides. It's Carisbrook and Trentham.
Yes, it's going to be a cracker of a game. Carisbrook, of course, coming off the revenge last week over Navarre, taking the win there. Trentham with that whopping margin over Maldon, so they had a pretty good tune-up last week. It's going to be a really close game. I am going to probably throw one out there and think Trentham might be able to get over the line on that one.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting tip. I think this will indicate where Trentham are this season, because they haven't faced the cream of the crop with opposition. This is their first really big test for 2017. We know they showed some good signs of improvement last year. If they can get close or even pinch a win, then we'll know for a fact they are a genuine contender. They believe it, but I guess results against these bigger sides will be an indication of that too.
Yeah, I think we'll certainly learn a lot about Trentham out of the game tomorrow.
And Carisbrook, well, I'll be jumping on their bandwagon. I love the work the Saints have done this year, but I think Carisbrook, they had a season-defining win against Navarre last week. That will set them up for a crack at the flag. As we talk about the next big game, and not the hype on the ladder's perspective, what we're seeing with the last two sides, but down the bottom end of it, we've got Denali versus Maldon, and this is a big marquee fixture for the MCDFNL. Yeah,
it certainly is. Looking at the ladder, you wouldn't pencil it in as probably one of the matches of the round, but look, it's exciting for Denali, who have been able to secure Daniel Kerr to come and play for the day. He's going to come along as a marquee player. That's really exciting for the club. Look, they've done a lot of work off field to turn the club around, and credit to them, to the president and secretary there, who have put in a lot of time and effort. And I think we could expect a really big crowd up there on the day. And given the hype that's going to be around the day, I'm going to tip Denali for their first win. Yeah,
I think they'll get the job done, and the weather gods appear to be smiling as well. The current look at the Bureau says that the weather is going to be sensational, so fingers crossed it stays that way, but it is Victoria. It can swing on a dime. Not today in Denali. The sun will be shining on them, and I'd like to see the Bombers outfit put on a good show as well. They've had a dismal season this year, but I'd like to see them be very competitive. And in my time watching MCDFNL footy, I haven't seen the two play before, so I'm very much looking forward to it. Avoca versus Navarre. This is Navarre's bounce back game against Avoca, who are a little bit wounded after last week's loss.
Yeah, they are. I mentioned earlier in the week that they'd be glad Sunday was over. Navarre, having the loss last week, they won't lose 2 in a row. They'll certainly bounce back, and they'll take that over Avoca.
And they'll probably get their kicking boots on as well. They kicked 9 goals too on the weekend, but 9 goals for them, that's probably one of the lowest scores they've had probably 4 or 5 years. So we can see them looking to atone to that, in all due respect to the mighty Bulldogs. As we looked at Campbell's Creek versus Talbot better placed on the ladder, and seem to be doing a few right things at this point of the season, especially after a big win last weekend.
Yeah, you're right. Look, I think Talbot will get the win on Saturday in that game. Campbell's Creek just struggling a little bit at the moment, so Talbot will win.
Yeah, we're not seeing too many games sort of separate 5th from 12th at the moment, so it's still a relatively close competition. Anything can happen, but the Talbot to get the job done. As we turn our attention to Royal Park versus Maryborough Rovers, and the Rovers, they are flying 2 massive wins on the board. They are doing a good job.
Yes, they are. I think they'll go for 3 in a row on the weekend. Royal Park struggled a bit last week.
Against Harcourt.
Yep, and I think Maryborough Rovers will take the win there.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing there from Royal Park's perspective, because when they did play Harcourt just managed to increase their lead as the game went on, so they weren't able to stem the flow of goals. Hopefully, if the game sort of gets a bit close, they can bring the margin back. As we look to Lexington and Harcourt fresh up a win against Royal Park. Harcourt probably favourites going into this one.
Yeah, I think so. Lexington have struggled a little bit so far this season. I thought they might have been a little bit more up the ladder there, but they'll come good there pretty soon. I think Harcourt, though, are going to be the better of the two teams on Saturday.
No arguments there, mate, as we cross to the last game, and it's a Saturday game, so we haven't got any more Sunday games, at least for the time being. We've got Newstead versus Natty Alba. Not too distant on the ladder front, but Natty Alba on top of the ladder, cruising at the moment.
They are, and I think Newstead have had 2 wins in a row, but I think it'll stop there. Natty Alba will just keep on their merry way, and I think they'll have a comfortable win.
It'd be hard not to back them at this stage because they haven't given us much reason not to.
No, that's right.
Fantastic. Well, just a reminder again, make sure if you're planning to head to a game, get out to Denali, get behind the guys down there and see them take on the Bombers, as Daniel Kerr will be down in action, or sneak across to Carisbrook and Trentham. 2 massive games of MCDFL football this weekend. Thanks so much for joining us again, Shane, and we look forward to catching up with you next week.
A pleasure as always, Andy.